Good morning, everyone. Happy July 3rd. Of course, the best day of the entire year. Not that I'm biased or anything. So, I just wanted to address some stuff today that, well, it seems that some, let's see, what's the wording? Particular people out there are expressing some concerns about, number one, my credentials, and number two, the way that I have literally the way that I have literally read out loud to you word for word what House Bill 5672 says. So I thought I would just take time to address it right now. As to my credentials, why don't we start there? For those of you who might not know who I am attorney Catherine Henry. I've been working in the legal field for 19 years. I've served as a lawyer guardian ad litem representing kids in abuse and neglect cases. I've done that kind of work in Michigan, but I've also done guardian ad litem work in Minnesota. Minnesota does not have a combined lawyer guardian ad litem role. You are either the lawyer for the child or the guardian ad litem for the child. And so I have served in both the guardian ad litem role for the child as well as the lawyer role for the child. When I left Minnesota, things changed a little bit. But when I was still there, as long as you were age 10 or older and you were in a child abuse and neglect case, you had your own attorney and your guardian ad litem. So I have served in those roles. I've also served as a public defender representing kids charged with juvenile delinquencies. I've done that in 2 different states. I have done, I've worked on thousands of divorce cases, custody, parenting time, child support in 2 different states. More counties than I can even think to count off the top of my head between the states. I have done real estate work, real estate litigation, real estate document drafting. I have helped countless businesses start up with their LLC paperwork or their S Corp paperwork or any of that. I've done a lot of bankruptcy work, and which is of course a federal court thing. I have done, landlord-tenant. I've done a lot of landlord-tenant stuff, a lot of contract case work. I have served also as, I'm trained and experienced as a mediator doing divorce cases. Just custody parenting time cases. I've done mediations, a lot of, agriculture and rural development mediations, special education mediations, child protection mediations, adult guardianship mediations, civil rights mediations, general civil mediations, landlord-tenant mediations. I'm forgetting something. You guys have my business card? I'm in my own office and I can't even think of every single type of mediation known to man here in Michigan, I'm trained in and have done. You cracked me up. Yeah, this is going to remind me. Oh, yeah, I do restorative justice facilitation, both in the school systems here in Michigan as well as in the juvenile justice system, which is a phenomenal thing. Side note, restorative justice allows the offender to actually take responsibility in a meaningful way, and it also allows the victim or victims in a situation to truly have a voice, and they literally end up coming up with a contract on how to resolve whatever the situation was, whether it's property damage, physical assault, harassment, you name it. I have loved participating in every case that I've done so far with those. Let's see, what else do I do? I'm trained in the online, the state of Michigan on July 1st rolled out its initial kind of like informal mediation program. It's done through like a texting service and phone and whatnot, a web portal. So I'm trained to do that as well. I've done a lot of debt collection matters, neighborhood property disputes, religious, intra-congregational and inter-congregational disputes. So I'm trained in all that kind of stuff. Okay, so ADR, I've done case evaluation cases, served on the case evaluation panels. oh, let's see. I've given a lot of presentations to different groups throughout the years, depending on what their, particular need was for information. I have owned my own law firm for 12 years. And let's see. First of all, I'm a citizen of the United States and a resident of the state of Michigan. I'm a business owner, and I'm a parent of 4 kids. My youngest is 6, and my oldest is 19. So, yeah, I'm credentialed in the sense that I am the average American trying to do best and succeed in life. And aside from that, I have served on a variety of local boards. I've served on a Downtown Development Authority, DDA, Planning Commission, the local board association for the mall where I had my office a while ago. I'm sure I'm missing tons of stuff. So I'm credentialed in a variety of ways, but let's get to the stuff that apparently Jack O'Malley, even though he darn well knows who I am, I'll probably even see him today. He doesn't know that, but maybe now he does. And any of you, if you're friends with Jack, tag him on this video, because apparently I'm not. I don't keep track, and I couldn't tag him. I'd love to respond face-to-face to him, but this will be the next best thing for now. So at any rate, I try to always do my videos in here just so that, well, number one, it looks professional and I don't have to waste the time trying to figure out how to do those fake backgrounds. But why don't we go ahead and take a look at the places I'm licensed in, okay? First of all, I guess I did graduate from high school. I started high school in Orlando, Florida. That's where I grew up. I went to Dr. Phillips High School, go DP. Then I switched to live with my dad in Minnesota, and I graduated from Arlington High School in St. Paul. I did graduate a whole year early. Some stuff going on in my life. That was the best thing for me to do. So by the time I graduated from high school at 16 years of age, I already had almost a whole year of credits into college because I took CLEP tests and AP tests. I took classes through the University of Minnesota online. And that was a long time ago. I took classes through the University of Minnesota Twin Cities in person. I took classes when I was in high school, my senior year. I took classes at William Mitchell College of Law through a cooperative program there. Classes at the St. Paul Pioneer Press on journalism and investigation, which is something that doesn't happen anymore apparently. So at any rate, that takes me to college. When I went to college, I graduated from Southwest Minnesota State University in Marshall, Minnesota, where my baby boy, Alex, was born. And to any of my Marshall, Minnesota peeps, or Slayton, Minnesota peeps, for that matter, any of my St. Paul peeps, hi. I miss you guys. And at any rate, college, I was in the honors program. I graduated from honors at, high school and college and all that fun stuff. So I was in the political science club, I was in the pre-law society, I was the Model UN, I was in the forensics club, I am a member of the National Forensics Honorary Pi Kappa Delta. I competed nationally and at least statewide in, like I said, Model UN and forensics, which is the speaking stuff. And yes, was the only thing that I was marked off for in my speeches on a regular basis. Yes, I still say but guess what? I'm human. Let's see. My majors, I was a political science major and philosophy major. I was 3 credits shy of a public administration degree as well. I minored in pre-law, and like I said, I had the honors program core work there. I went to law school at William Mitchell College of Law, which has now merged with Hamline University School of Law. But back then, they were 2 separate places. In fact, I took a lot of my ADR coursework through Hamline University because their Alternative Dispute Resolution Center was phenomenal. And I took the rest of my coursework through William Mitchell College of Law in St. Paul. The college has been around for over 100 years. I want to say maybe 1908 it was created. And again, it's just a law school, but the name was William Mitchell College of Law. Now it's called Mitchell Hamline. So that is, as far as like my degrees, I have taken, that's a good point. I don't have that. I'm going to find something for you guys while I'm talking. We'll see how well that I can multitask. I have taken a variety of continuing legal education coursework in the last 19 years. And here in Michigan, I think we're literally the only state at this point that does not require continuing education for attorneys, just FYI. So no attorney has come to my face and had like a face-to-face discussion or debate about the issues of anything that I've been talking about. But so those that are, doing it all behind my back or where I don't have access to seeing exactly what they're saying, keep in mind that attorneys are not required to do continuing legal education courses here in Michigan to maintain your law license. And because of that, we have a lot of attorneys that are old school, that do things old school, meaning they haven't kept up with the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years of changes in the law, which, by the way, since we have an overzealous legislature, has been quite a few changes. So I'm going to find for you the list of the, technology doesn't want to work for me today. That's fantastic. I do keep up with all of the continuing ed classes that I could possibly get my hands on. I'm not sure exactly what the check her credentials comment was that Jack O'Malley, State Rep Jack O'Malley made. So I'm just kind of going through it all, just to, laying it all out there. So I'm going to find for you the specifics on my continuing ed, so you know whether or not I've kept up on things. Now, by the way, I have taken some continuing ed even during the pandemic here, and I don't think that any of those made it to my, record yet of this. But, of course, Google doesn't like me right now, and it's going to take its sweet time. It's a good time for a sip of water. So, at any rate, I do, well, shoot, we'll just do it this way. You're going to see everybody around me. Actually, Ashley, can you log that on, please? And open up my Google Drive. Okay, while we're pulling that up, we'll just go around the room here. Let's see. Restorative practices, right there. Trained in restorative practices through the Lansing Dispute Resolution Center. And then I was also later trained to do the same stuff through the Dispute Resolution Center of West Michigan. Marilyn and Chris and Tina, great trainers. Let's see. We'll go over here. Can I switch the view? Yep. Okay, so as you can see, I've been licensed to practice law in the state of Minnesota. It has my maiden name on it, but it's still me. And we'll go over here. There's my law degree. And there's my college degree. And of course, let's see if I can get this without any glare. Nope. State of Michigan. Yep. Licensed to practice here. I did have to take 2 bar exams because I was not allowed to waive in. Just so you're aware, for those of you who are test score snobs or think, all that kind of stuff is fun and interesting to learn about, I actually did have to, I don't know, I think it's different now, but back when I took the bar exam, we had a written portion, which is essay, and we had a multiple choice portion that's called the MBE multi-state. And I actually scored very high on the multi-state to the point where they didn't even have to grade my essay. I can't even think today. Jeez. Anyway, and then when I came to Michigan, though, I had to take the bar exam here, and they made me take the bar exam here. I had to answer all the questions about, Michigan-specific law in essay format, but I actually scored high enough on my multi-state bar exam portion that had I actually taken it physically in the state, they wouldn't have even graded my essay here. So, not too shabby. I took the LSAT. I guess I should tell you guys, that's the law school admissions test. I took that 5 months pregnant with my son Alex, and almost got locked out of the second half because I was like waddling around and needed a snack and was in a lot of pain. But I did finish that LSAT. Didn't study for it. Didn't even know there was a thing that you could study for it, and scored high enough that all the law schools in Minnesota wanted me to go there and were offering me scholarships. So I figure of all days to be able to toot my own horn, so to speak. It is my birthday today, so I could do that, but I am hoping that all of this will help Jack O'Malley sleep at night knowing that I am giving people the state of Michigan information. All right, so I was then licensed to practice. Oop, I got to change this so you can see this. In the Eastern District of Michigan Federal District Court, and then Western District of Michigan Federal District Court. And I'm licensed to practice law at the United States Supreme Court, that building right there. So yes, I'm licensed to practice law in the United States Supreme Court. Ooh, let's find some, I'm going to find you guys a few of the United States Supreme Court briefs that I've worked on real quick here. See if we can do this. Okay. Oops. Let's turn the camera around so you can see that. Okay, this was one of them. My name is, right there, Catherine Henry. In fact, working at the Supreme Court. Worked on another one on the Trump case. Let's see, this one was another Supreme Court case with my name on it right there. I don't have the paper versions of these for all of the briefs that I've done so far, but they exist, and I'll get them eventually and show them to you guys. Let's see. Was there anything else I needed to show people credential-wise? Oh yeah, that. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys know that since I graduated from law school, I had I've been constantly maintaining my continuing education because I think it's essential for us as attorneys or any kind of professional to maintain that level of knowledge to make sure you're representing clients right. So since I graduated from law school and took the bar exam, I haven't updated this thing in 3 months. So any continuing ed I've done in the last 3 months isn't on here. But other than that, since I first became a licensed attorney, I have taken 452.5 hours of continuing education. So for what it's worth, let's see if I can just do this and have you see what I'm seeing. I keep track. That's the total. 452.5 hours of continuing education so far through April 10th, 2020. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, guys. Let's see. As far as my mediation skills, I've had 313 hours there. And I've taken continuing ed on everything from when I represent kids in abuse and neglect cases to religious freedom issues, how to best handle appeals or trial work, issues in education and tax and government and juvenile delinquencies. Of course, the misdemeanor representation or public defender representation that I've been doing, bankruptcy, family law, general law, practice management, estate planning, you name it. Okay, so hopefully that addresses the question about my credentials. And if any of you do have any additional questions about my credentials, hopefully my teammates here, if you will help me follow and answer what those questions are in a little bit. But before I go into questions, I want to address the rest of Jack O'Malley's concerns. It's interesting that although he definitely knows who I am, he is calling me that one particular person out there. I do think that's a little less personal than what Michelle Hoytanga, another state rep, referred to me as 2 days ago when she was calling me the woman who made the video. At least I'm not that woman from Michigan. I'm the woman. I like it. I'll be the woman. Anyway, and she knows who I am too, but that's fine. It's not like she's known of my name and that we've met and talked since 2016, but it's cool. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, that I claim to be an expert on this. Well, every single time you saw all those, I didn't show you that I'm also licensed in the Saginaw Chippewa Tribal Court in Mount Pleasant, because of course they are their own country, right? They have their own system of laws and government, and I am licensed to practice there as well. So, seen a few judges come and go off the bench in that community since being licensed there. I've been licensed there for 12 years. Let's see. Yeah, so Jack O'Malley said that I've talked to some people who know this expert and, well, just check their credentials. Pronoun, it would be check her credentials. You might want to work on that because I'm not plural. But my credentials are checked, and we'll go into any questions that anybody on this Facebook Live video has about my credentials or experience or anything. That's totally fine. Let's see. Then he starts talking about the bill that he doesn't remember when he voted on it, or what the bill number was, or the act. I don't even think he remembered the name of the act. That's interesting. But he's going to be the expert on it, right? Okay. So he's saying that it does prohibit an employer from forcing you to get a microchip. And let's see.
That's prohibit. Does allow.
He did say it actually, he starts by saying, the bill does allow, does prohibit, and then he continued his sentence. So I was kind of like, that's interesting. How does it both allow and prohibit an employer from doing that? Must be a bad bill if it can do both, right? At any rate, Jack O'Malley states very clearly he's no lawyer, right? And so he's not the expert on this. Clearly doesn't think I'm an expert either. My point is, if you think that you can't understand the law, if you're a state rep and you think you don't understand the language of the bills that you're voting on, then you need to not vote, or you need to vote no. Because not understanding things and then just like taking somebody's word for it is terrible. I would say abstain. If you've been given a stack of whatever it was, 80 bills, and given 15 minutes to go through them all, you can't gloss over them, you can't read the summary. You need to know exactly what's in those bills. I don't care who you are. I don't care what other background you have. I don't care what party you belong to. If you want to run for office, especially for the legislature, you need to read the bills before you vote on them. You need to understand what they say before you vote on them. And guess what, guys? I'm not going away. I mean, I'd really love to be on the beach of Florida right now. However, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. So if you guys, senators, representatives, quite frankly, any person in government, if you have questions about anything, like a bill that you're looking at, you are considering co-sponsoring it, or you're concerned, your constituents are raising questions and you don't know how to answer them, you can call me. You guys know how to reach me. I know you know how to reach me. You can call me, you can email me, you can text message me. I would be glad to sit down with you and talk over whatever the concern or question is. Again, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. It means nothing to me. If you're going to try to do the homework and research and make sure that you are truly informed and not relying on legislative counsel, I'd be glad to help. By the way, we should probably check into legislative counsel. Did you end up printing that?
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing is, I'm being questioned on my experience, my expertise, my credentials. Oh yeah, let's look at this. Where are the...
Top right highlights.
Yeah, this isn't exactly what I was looking at.
You want the reps that are part of it?
Nope, that's what this lists. Well, anyway, I don't have the document that I was going to try to show you guys and talk to you about, so I'll do that later. But it's interesting, you guys, for any of you who are not attorneys, if you are trying to look up an attorney's level of experience, one of the quickest ways you can look at is their attorney registration number. It's called a P number. Mine is 71954, and interestingly enough, if you took out the 5, it's my address, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's kind of strange. So I've been around for a while. There's a lot of attorneys that have been filing things like in the legislature's lawsuit against the governor where their P numbers are like 7,900 or whatever, or it's, let's see, I guess it'd be 79,000, or they're over in the 8,000s. That means they're fairly new. So how many years of experience do they have when they're the ones that are involved with what the legislature is doing and giving them advice and telling them what they need to do in terms of whether they should give her an extension on the state of emergency or whether they should vote yes or no on any particular bill? I'd kind of wonder about that. Anyway, food for thought, right? Okay, so getting back to this this bill, where he, Jack O'Malley claims he's no lawyer. I am. Good for me, right?
According to comments, he's a media arts major.
Media arts major. Cool. That's fine with me as long as you actually read the bills before you vote on them and you don't take sneaky shots at me behind my back, you know, like just have the guts to talk to me to my face. Or we could do a Zoom and we can set it on there so all of our followers and people that talk to each of us can see exactly what's going on. But all this sneaky garbage where people go behind my back to complain about things and tear apart my constitutional amendment or any other thing like that, just keep in mind that I'm more than willing to have an open discussion, public debate. We can do it on the steps of the Capitol. We could do it here at my office in Hudsonville. It doesn't matter. I think that people have a right to know the truth. And I'm going to keep telling them the truth, whether you want me to or not. I know you guys all know about me. Other state reps made it a point to say that you all know about me, and most of you know me personally. Yes, you do. That doesn't make me the bad guy, does it? No. Okay. So, Jack, not a lawyer, O'Malley, claimed that a judge can only rule on a law that exists, yada, yada. Totally, obviously, right? Because we don't have trial court judges that go out and issue horrible opinions or, you know, judgments or, you know, I don't know, allow public health departments to get warrants for people that they haven't even met, don't even know yet, because we have some super fantastic laws on the books that enable such a thing to happen. Yeah, no, a judge would never do something where they didn't have the right to do it. They wouldn't infringe upon our rights ever. If you are someone who thinks that no judge ever in the state of Michigan has or ever will in the future try to violate someone's rights, ever, I'd like to know. Put your name on there. Say, I don't believe any judge would ever violate someone's rights. Please comment so we can have a running list going, because that would be fantastic. I'd love to talk to you. I think all of us do know, though, that judges, just like any other profession, there's good ones and there's bad ones. And we definitely have some bad ones that violate rights. So, yeah. So I'm going to reiterate that my concerns very quickly with 5672, House Bill 5672. Jack O'Malley, did you catch that? House Bill 5672. Now you know the number. It has Section 3, subsection 3, that says, well, employers can actually terminate you from employment or deny you employment or a raise or anything like that because you don't want to get microchipped, so long as there is a court order directing someone to do that. Doesn't mean that particular employer went and got a court order specific to that employee for those purposes. The language is very all-inclusive. So no matter what, though, Jack O'Malley, I would love to be able to do a debate with you as to why you think it's constitutional for any human being in any circumstance to ever be forcefully microchipped. I'd love to know that. Actually, of all of our state rep friends who voted in favor of this bill so far, I would love to know how many of you would be okay with your employer forcing you to get microchipped in order to stay employed. I would love to know. I want to hear it from each and every one of you that you are totally okay with that. And that you would be okay if a judge ordered you to be microchipped. Maybe not even specifically you, but there's just general order about something that kind of basically says that you got to get microchipped, otherwise your employer can fire you. I would love to know if you're telling me on the record that you are totally okay being microchipped. That'd be great. I mean, I'd just love to know. I'd be totally curious about that. Good morning, Sweet Pea. Can you get ready? Thank you. So, let's see. Oh, yes, of course. And then there's Section 4. So I love how several of these legislators actually now are talking about, well, we're fixing the problem because we're removing the part about the courts, they might say, or Section 3 of subsection 3, that we're taking that part out or whatever. I think Jack's wording was, we're removing one line. Well, I could tell you it's more than one line that will need to be removed. The entirety of Section 3, subsection 3 needs to be removed, as well as crossing out some of the correlating language in Section 3, subsection 1 and Section 3, subsection 2, I believe. I put those corrections with red pen on my Facebook page yesterday, so you can see the actual bill as it was voted and passed through the legislature, through the House of Representatives anyway. And then with the red pen showing the marks that I think should be changed about that bill. I put that on there so you can see that. I won't go into too much detail about that. But also we need to make sure we're paying attention to Section 4, which talks about remedies, because although that this bill and the summary of it purport to, give everybody a remedy, a way to sue their employer, no, what it does is it says if your employer illegally, so they're not even trying to get this supposed court order, they're just illegally requiring you to be microchipped or tracked for purposes of maintaining your employment, you can sue them, but right now you can get your attorney's fees and court costs, which makes you break even. And that's assuming the court even finds that all of your attorney's fees are considered reasonable, because it's reasonable attorney's fees. And aside from that, you can only collect actual damages. That means you're literally pulling out your receipts and your documentation and your paperwork and your calculator and showing the judge, this is what we have for damages. I've been able to prove that I'm out, $212.76. So that's literally all that an employer would have to pay if you take them to court, go through the time, effort, hassle, energy, in going through a whole court case and suing them. When you win, you then have to prove an exact dollar amount that you are out, and then you get that, and it's it. So I shared with you guys yesterday that Michigan law is pretty clear, and I posted it all online, that you don't get punitive damages in Michigan unless the statute specifically allows for it. Same thing with statutory damages, because, well, by definition, they're damages that are created for in a statute, by the language of a statute. So my proposal, or my request, maybe my demand, was that the legislators, in addition to the actual damages, they allow for punitive damages, which the sole purpose is not to compensate the person who is harmed. It's to send a message so that particular defendant and all the other future defendants, employers or whatnot, know they better not ever try to require a human being to get microchipped as a condition of employment with their business. So that's what punitive damages are for, and that's why punitive damages need to go in there. But then you also have statutory damages. So statutory damages is basically where the legislature has said, but in law, we think that a particular thing is so important or so egregious that we're going to say if you are deemed to have been violating it, if the court case has gone that far, that you are found to have done that, then you will have to pay the injured party a specific dollar amount, $500, $10,000, $50,000, whatever. They put that into law. And so my strong suggestion is that we have the actual damages allowed and punitive damages and statutory damages, as well as attorneys' fees and court costs. Because if the whole point is this is so egregious, if all of these state reps, 104 of them, are like, hey, I'm doing this because it saves us, it helps people, and it's printed in all the newspapers, the ABC News articles and everything like that, that this is the bill that's going to save us from microchipping, then why don't we actually increase the penalties to something worth talking about, right? By the way, for those of you who said that you are avid fact checkers out there, and you think I'm misleading because the ABC News article told you differently, I would like you to actually read the language of the bill itself, which I have put in the links right here on Facebook, or listen to the actual words I've said, describing literally word for word what it says. In the prior videos I've done, I've actually said here on the bill, on page number 2, line number 25, this is what we're talking about. Read the stuff yourself. Don't look to ABC News for information. Seriously? Who does that? It's not accurate. Shoot, the state reps didn't even get it right when they're describing what's in there. Why would you trust a news outlet who's not even in the legislature? All right, anyway. So what Jack says, and what a couple of these other people, including the bill's sponsor, said, is that the sentence, should be removed so that it should be no problem. Basically, the bill's sponsor is talking to the Senate to remove that one line, so all of your concerns should just be fine. Like, totally don't worry about it. Just go ahead and support this bill. He wants us to know that the system is working, and, people want tweaks, and he says, we've heard your complaints, we're hearing you, and we're getting it fixed. First of all, Jack, how do you think people are really hearing about this? Because so far I hadn't seen any kind of organization or public somebody in the public spotlight who is giving information to people to tell them what's actually in this bill and what they should be concerned about. I literally am the only person I know of that's doing that. So if you're getting flooded, every single one of you are talking about how you're getting flooded with phone calls, emails, text messages, Facebook comments, etc. about House Bill 5672. It's probably because I'm out here doing these lives that within less than 24-hour period of time, I'm getting 25, 30,000 views on them. People are mad. They don't want you to take away their rights. So yeah, you're listening and that's great. Number one, don't just change one little piece. Number two, you're listening and you're hearing them talk about these things because people like me are out there sharing the information about these bills. If people like me aren't out there giving information to the residents of Michigan, how do you think they would know? You guys are not out there talking about the full details that all these bills have in them. You don't even know the full details. So yeah, I'm not going away. I'm going to continue no matter, when we get our constitutional amendment passed or not, it doesn't matter. I'm going to stick around. From now on, I'm going to be talking about bills so we can make sure as the people we are holding you accountable because you work for us. As a state rep, as a legislator, you work for us, the people. So you should be having to answer to all the people that are concerned about the fact that you're trampling all over our personal liberties here. Interestingly enough, Jack then said that most people don't even know how the system works. And so he's then insinuating that people shouldn't be complaining. If people don't know how the system works, number one, it might be very well that the system is too overly complex, too burdensome to even participate in, and people have been disenfranchised more and more every single year, every single decade, for as far as we can remember. Now is the time to stop having you guys holding yourselves up on this pedestal like it's you versus us, and that we're not good enough to know. We're not smart enough to know. I'm certainly not credentialed enough to know because I don't sit as a state rep passing bills that I don't even read. Are you kidding me? I'm going to again remind you, you work for us. And if people don't know the complexities of how the whole system works, it's not saying something about them. That doesn't mean the people are stupid. That means our laws and our rules and our regulations are so complex and so overly burdensome and quite frankly completely unconstitutional in that respect that they need to be taken care of. We need to get rid of most of them. We do not need to be regulated over every single aspect of our lives. And for those of you who are going to be smartasses right now and comment, well, we're not regulated about every single aspect of our lives. Are you serious? Let's think about this. I'm not even going to go into detail. I'm sure many of my other Patriot friends can jump on board and start listing all the ways that we are regulated. Getting fishing licenses, getting hunting licenses. Now we can't get a haircut or our nails done without the government's permission, right? And even when it's not COVID-19, those places are regulated as well, right? I mean, you have to have a license to cut hair. Dang. Is my kindergartner, now first grader, going to have a license to be able to draw a picture? Is that what you guys are on to next? The whole point is, if people don't know about how the system works, it's because the system is broken, Jack. It's broken. And people like you are part of the problem. So you're not supposed to have the House vote on a bill that's totally craptastic and takes away our rights, and then when people get upset about it, you go, well, no big deal, hold on. We'll have the Senate fix it before they vote on it. No big deal, we'll take out that one line. No! What are you thinking? If it violates our constitutional rights, you have a duty as an elected official to not vote yes for it in the first place. But aside from that, if there's problems with it, the process is that it should have been done right the first time. You guys need to read it before you vote on it the first time. Don't expect the Senate to clean up your mess and then send it back to you to vote on it again. Do the job the first time. If you guys are too overwhelmed with the number of bills that you are voting on all at one time, number one, draft less bills. Number two, have leadership take some actual initiative in making something work that's feasible and appropriate. Don't sit there and say, I'm so overwhelmed, I only have 15 minutes to read 80 bills. Do something about it. Tell constituents everywhere. Go all over the media. Go on the alternative media if the regular media doesn't pick it up. People want to know that. They want to know that you're taking a stand and that you're trying to buck the system and give people a voice. So, yeah, I would agree with you, Jack. Most people don't know how the system works, and that's why I'm fighting tirelessly to end all this. That's why I'm doing all this on my birthday. I am addressing your ridiculousness from your post yesterday or today, whatever it was, to address my experience and credentials so people understand where I come from when I'm giving them this information, as well as making sure that, people know you're going to be able to reach me. I'm going to, over the weekend, hopefully, maybe today, if I'm lucky, if I have enough time, I'm going to go through all the methods of communication that we've created with the Restore Freedom Initiative Constitutional Amendment Committee information, as well as my own personal and my law firm, phone number, email, contact, texting, whatever, Facebook, social media presence and everything. I'm going to revamp everything so that my law practice is not going to focus on alternative dispute resolution anymore like I had done in the recent few years, to be able to focus on a variety of other things. I most likely am not working on detailed briefs with the Great Lakes Justice Center anymore, because who knows? But anyway, I'm not going away. I will be working on briefs at the Michigan Supreme Court, the Michigan Court of Appeals, the U.S. Supreme Court, trial level if need be. I'm going to be answering questions for people. I'm hopefully going to be answering questions for legislators who are actively engaged in wanting to get some information on how something actually pans out. I'm going to be encouraging people on how to stay involved, contacting your state reps, your senators, your city council members, your school board members, how to stay involved and be able to know what's going on and hold your government accountable when they need to be held accountable. We're going to hopefully work on some people stepping up to help us with the database online, so you can actually see which bills are there, what the status is, who their sponsors are, their contact information in a much more feasible way than what the legislature's website does right now. So we're going to work on that. It's going to be a team effort, but I'm not going away. So if you want to keep talking about how I'm not credentialed enough, you just tell me exactly which part of my credentials you're worried about, and I will totally address it and answer it. You tell me what you think I'm missing in my credentials, and we will talk about it, Jack, okay? Or any of you other state reps. I mean, if you're really so strong, opinionated about what you have to say, let's do it face to face. Let's do it. I think there's a way to have people join in a Facebook Live video or Zoom or something, or let's go to the steps of the Capitol, whatever. Let's do it. Let's make sure people are informed. If you are so convinced that you're doing the right thing, that you know what the law is, that you know what the Constitution is, you know what is best for the people of Michigan, then you shouldn't be afraid to face me and be able to go toe-to-toe with me on any particular subject. Seriously, let's do this in a respectable fashion. It's not like you guys don't know how to tag me on Facebook. It's not like you don't know what my phone number is or how to reach me or how to get... Come on. So we need to do that, but we also need to amend the state constitution. This is not a constitutional convention I'm talking about. It's not opening up the state constitution for everything and anything that people are worried about. When you have a constitutional convention, when you do a general revision, and then you're throwing out all the good stuff with the bad stuff, that's not what this is. The Restore Freedom Initiative is a constitutional amendment petition to change specific portions of the Constitution according to Article 12, Section 2 of our state constitution. Not Article 12, Section 3, which is the one for general revisions and constitutional conventions. That's not what we're talking about. Article 12, Section 2 is constitutional amendment. And so when you go into the polls, when you go in to vote, when you're looking at whether or not you want to take on, adopt the constitutional amendment language that we've been talking about with the Restore Freedom Initiative, you are literally going to be answering yes or no. Not yes, should we open up the whole Constitution? No, that's done every 16 years by our state constitution requires that question to go to the voters every 16 years. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about specifically this Restore Freedom Initiative, and once we know the proposal number, which I'm assuming at this point is going to be proposal number 1, but I don't know for sure, you would literally be going in and voting yes or no with the summary that they have put together and approved for the ballot. It's yes or no on that language. And here's the thing about that language serves to provide a heck of a lot more in transparency of our government, accessibility, accountability. You're going to have the onus on you as government officials of all levels to be able to, sorry, I had a question come up and it kind of distracted my thought. You're going to be able to have information to get connected with all of the different government officials. And if you are a government official, the onus is going to be on you. The burden is going to be on you to provide information, a heck of a lot more information right from the get-go to the people through your website. Might it take more website infrastructure and tech people? Yeah, but We have a lot of government workers that are doing things that aren't really needed because of all the over-regulation we have. So why don't we strip away that regulation? Oh, wait, a lot of that needless regulation is stripped away with this constitutional amendment. No more administrative law that reigns over the people. Administrative law is put into place by people who are not elected officials, and because our U.S. Constitution is supreme law of the land, and it says in Article 4, Section 4, that we are guaranteed a Republican form of government. Anytime we have any kind of government entity, agency, or official who's trying to regulate us in any kind of way, act with the powers of any of the three branches of government, they don't have the right to do that because that's not a republic. That is not where the people hold the sovereignty, and they are electing particular individuals to serve them in protecting their inalienable rights. That's the point of government. That's why we do it. That's what a republic is. So when you have all these unelected bureaucrats making all these laws and rules, not laws, but rules that are enforced like law, that's not okay. So we get rid of that in our constitutional amendment. We also get rid of the Legislative Council because, quite frankly, what good are they doing in any of this? Giving bad advice, drafting craptastic laws, telling the people of the state of Michigan, this is a fantastic bill, we all need to vote on this, this is going to save all of our employees. No, it's not. Not as it's currently written. So, at any rate, I want to make sure that you guys out there, all of you, whether you're in government or not, know that the Restore Freedom Initiative petition to get us on the November ballot to amend the state constitution in a way that restores our freedoms, clarifies all the restrictions placed on government, and provides that transparency, accessibility, and accountability for government. That's what you'd be voting on. So make sure that you check out RestoreFreedomMI.com. Shoot, come join us at any of our events that we still have going on over the weekend. We have some stuff going on in Traverse City tonight from 5 to 8 with the Friskies Farm Market. We have the Door Parade tomorrow at 10 a.m., line up at 9:30. And yes, the Restore Freedom Initiative is now the one putting that event on because the local businesses were threatened with licensing and other consequences for having a 4th of July parade. Well, I'm not afraid of the government, so I'm definitely going to take it on. I'm going to exercise my First Amendment rights to petition my government for a redress of grievances and to free speech, and I'm going to go celebrate the 4th of July by doing a parade indoor tomorrow. Line up at 9:30 and parade kicks off at 10 o'clock. We'd love to see you all there. Make sure you come by. We do have a Facebook event about it. We're getting information about it on our website, RestoreFreedomMI.com. We'd love to see you there. We'd love to see you in the parade. You don't need to sign up ahead of time. You can just come. We have people with Humvees. We have people with motorcycles. We have people with boats and fire trucks and everything else that we know are going to be there. We'd love to see you guys there. If you just want to walk in the parade with us, if you want to drive your car in the parade with us, you want to make a float, you do whatever you want. We're going to celebrate the 4th of July because this is the United States of America. And if we're not willing to celebrate the 4th of July, then we shouldn't be in the United States of America. So if you don't want to celebrate the 4th of July, if you don't like the United States of America, I would suggest there's plenty of other countries that you are more than willing to head over to. I hear that Canada is quite the socialist country these days, and they're looking for people. A lot of other countries. I mean, you're more than welcome. I have several friends that would probably help you pack if you wanted to move to a socialist country. But we have the United States of America. And so we are going to celebrate the 4th of July. So come out onto Door. After the Door Parade, we are going to the, I think there's also still going to be a Caledonia Parade at 11 a.m. Not sure on that yet. But I will be in Lansing at the Capitol to celebrate our 4th of July, to celebrate our independence, and to secure our freedoms going forward. We are going to have a plethora of petition circulators out there collecting thousands more signatures for our Restore Freedom Initiative constitutional amendment petition. I will be speaking at roughly about 2 o'clock on Saturday, which I think is tomorrow, The event itself is not ours. The event is more tied to Chad Bossy's group, their recall petition on the governor. And so they will definitely be there. They will be having their volunteers do their thing. I'm not officially working with that in any way. It's just that I'm going to be there to describe how all the petitions that will be circulating are different, to tell you obviously the specifics about ours, answer any questions you have about ours. And so I believe that Chad's crew, though, is going to be in the Capitol from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So make sure to check us out there. I do know we have a wide variety of other places all across the state in the next 3 days or 2 days that we have petitions being circulated, so we can get your signature. Please feel free to let us know. You can call or text us at 616-303-0093 if you're not able to find a location near you by checking our website. But do check that events tab. We have definitely a lot of places that you can sign. And my understanding is that as of later today, we are going to have signatures from all 83 counties. I could be wrong, but I know we already have the 82 counties. I think signatures from the 83rd county is way up in the UP. We're getting signatures from them today, is my understanding. So thanks for the people from Gogebic County. So glad that you guys have joined our fight for freedom. Look forward to seeing all of you at one of these events this weekend. Oh, you know what? I didn't even... Okay, so there is... Do you still serve as a lawyer guardian ad litem in Michigan? Okay, so the question is, do I still serve as a lawyer guardian ad litem in Michigan? I haven't. I've been focusing on all the restorative justice elements and some of the appellate casework. Not to say I wouldn't do it in the future, but no, I don't currently serve today as a lawyer guardian ad litem in Michigan. Are there any other? Okay. So if you do have a question that we somehow didn't see, try to reach out and we'll answer it. I wish I could scroll a little bit better here because I feel like there's been so many comments that there's bound to be a question buried in there that we just can't see.
Somebody asked for Rep. O'Malley's credentials. I said, how long
look at that.
Has he been practicing law?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Representative Jack O'Malley, if you want to share your credentials with us, that'd be great. Here's the thing. I don't want to hammer too much on that in the sense that I believe this is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. This is not a government of attorneys. It's not a government of government officials, so to speak. This is a government by the people, of the people. So people from every walk of life, people from every profession should be able to serve in government in any single level of government. People should be able to serve as a legislator, whether you're a doctor, lawyer, teacher, policeman, garbage man, homeschooling mom, dentist, barber, it doesn't matter. Farmer, everybody should be able to serve as a state rep or as a state senator. What it does require, though, is making sure that if you are, no matter if you're an attorney or not an attorney, that you can figure out how to read the laws that are already on the books and how to accurately and adequately draft new laws that make sense and don't destroy our freedoms, and in fact start getting rid of all of the garbage laws that are on the books right now that do tear apart our freedoms. So whether you're an attorney or not, to that extent, it doesn't matter. Just read the laws. Read all of them involved. Know what you're getting into. Read the Constitution. Read the U.S. and Michigan Constitutions. So I guess my ask for all of you state reps is, this 4th of July weekend, please, cover to cover, read the United States Constitution and the state of Michigan Constitution, because every single one of those things in there is super important. To everyone else out there, I guess my ask is the same thing for you. Read both constitutions cover to cover this weekend. And then Monday morning, let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to answer them for you. And we'll continue to do stuff like that and educating people on what our constitutional rights are and what the constitutional restrictions upon the government are. We'll continue to do that as time goes on.
The girl that asked the guardian ad litem question, she said, I asked because I have a question about family law, and I know that you're straightforward. And then, so it wasn't really a question, but that's why she just explained why she asked. And then somebody asked if you can post the amicus briefs for the legislator's case.
I posted the amicus brief that I filed and had accepted with the Michigan Supreme Court. That is on the RestoreFreedomMI.com website. I also posted the motion and brief that I filed with the Michigan Court of Appeals in the legislature's case against the governor, as an amicus. So those are on the RestoreFreedomMI.com website. As far as the amicus briefs that were filed by other parties, I have not posted all those, and quite frankly, with how quick everything is moving and how overwhelmed we are at answering questions for people, I have not been able to get on there to dig out all the other briefs and all their attachments and appendices and everything and get them posted for you, because they are not, most of the attorneys that are filing, they're not following the same set of rules, I can tell you that. Some of them have a motion and then they have a brief and they're separate documents. Some of them has the motion and the brief all as one PDF. Some of them has the motion and brief as separate but connected through the e-filing system with all the appendices. It's kind of utter chaos in terms of how the individual attorneys are filing different things. So it's not easy at this point to be able to quickly pull it all together and have it posted on my own website in such a way to have you guys look at it. Eventually, I will make sure you guys have access to all that information, but this is one of the reasons why we need that public e-filing system that's uniform across the entire state. Whether you're a trial court, whether you're a district court, court of appeal, district court, circuit court, or probate court, whether you're court of appeals, court of claims, you're the Supreme Court, all the courts in the state should have one e-filing system, which not only allows you to file, but allows you to access documents so you can easily see, as any member of the public, what briefs or motions have been filed. Of course, with the constitutional amendment, there are cases where, if it's a, child protection case, for example, the confidential information that needs to be confidential, things that need to be confidential for the health or safety of individuals, whether it be confidential informants or undercover officers or that kind of information, that's not going to make it into the public record. We're talking about the things that, like, for example, my brief that I filed, the amicus brief filed in the legislature's lawsuit against the governor, there's nothing confidential about that. Every single person in the state of Michigan should be reading that to understand what their rights are and why those of us who are upset are so upset. So it's those kinds of things that need to be made available to the public, and we're working on that through the Restore Freedom Initiative Constitutional Amendment petition, so do make sure to sign that this weekend. Oh, yeah! I almost forgot again because I was going to do this yesterday. So this is Ashley. She has been my college intern. She goes to GVSU, and she's now going to be in her third year.
Yep.
And she is... are you actually a pre-law major?
Legal studies major, and double majoring legal studies and political science. So
double majoring in legal studies major in political science. I said that right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she has been someone that long before the Restore Freedom Initiative Constitutional Amendment came to be, she came over one day because her family had seen me doing some of these Facebook Live videos, and she, was not allowed to go to college campus anymore, and works at a restaurant, and so she lost that job. And so she said, I have this free time. Can I come and help you with stuff? And she only lives like a couple miles from me, so almost every single day since then, Ashley's been coming here and hanging out with me and my daughter Emma and working on the briefs. She's touched all the briefs that I've worked on in some way. She definitely was the first person to look up the laws and constitutional provisions when it comes to doing a constitutional amendment. And, basically everything in between. So I wanted to introduce you to Ashley for those of you who have not seen her at any of our events or, talked to her in some sort of way here. Those of you who have been calling our 616-303-0093 phone number or texting, there's a 50-50 chance that you've gotten a hold of Ashley on that because she's the one that helps me manage that number. So anyway, I wanted to introduce Ashley to you guys today. And one last hello.
hi.
So any last questions that anybody sees?
Somebody asked, as a limit on gatherings, what is the stop the governor is using to threaten 4th of July celebrations?
The governor doesn't get to violate the U.S. Constitution no matter what, so I don't care what kind of limit on gatherings she has. We have a First Amendment right to petition our government for a redress of grievances and a First Amendment right to have a freedom of speech. So definitely, if we're doing a parade outside, there's no reason that they could ever try to stop us on that. And quite frankly, I don't think they would be that stupid. I mean, that would be a lot of stupidity. So we will definitely be indoor tomorrow morning for the parade.
please be there 9:30 if you want to help, if you want to line up and be in the parade. You don't have to tell us ahead of time. Otherwise, we will be there at 10 o'clock to start the parade. We're going to use the parade route that was most recently updated and posted to the Door 4th of July website. We have now posted that to our Facebook page, Restore Freedom. You can do at Restore Freedom MI to find that Facebook page. We have a Facebook event for it. I do believe it's either on our website, restorefreedommi.com, or it will be on there soon. So please make sure to check that out. Any last questions?
Last one I see is, can you arrest the governor for practicing medicine without a license?
Oh, man, she's been practicing medicine without a license. She's been practicing law in violation of her ethical duties. She's violating the Constitution, so she's violating her oath of office as governor. I mean, there's a whole lot she's doing. That's a whole other topic for another conversation. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for staying engaged and asking questions and holding your government accountable. We need to make sure that we're working as a team, but not paying lip service to it. I mean, we're actually working as a team. Our legislators are actually hearing us, hearing our concerns, understanding why, understanding that they do really need to read the bills and be careful about it, not rush anything through, that we as the people do not want them to rush through the bills. We want to know that they're doing the right thing. So thank you all for helping to put the pressure on them to make them realize that is what our expectation is for them. And to any of those state reps, we do have one, I don't know if he's still on. We do have one who, State Rep Aaron Miller had originally voted yes on that bill, and through the course of yesterday ended up commenting on one of my videos or posts talking about that he basically had overlooked some of the provisions, the two provisions that I was concerned about, kind of misread one of them and the other one he had overlooked. And the fact that he owned it was phenomenal. I mean, so if you know State Rep Aaron Miller, please reach out to him and tell him, you know what, I'm glad that you're a man of integrity, because we all make mistakes. We're all human, right? And so whether you misread a bill or misunderstand it or whatever the case is, we're all imperfect, and he was doing his best to correct that publicly and let people know that he would not support the things that are in there. And my understanding, Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, but that you don't support what's in there currently. You just didn't see the language as what it really was, that you would support something that is more in line with the corrections that I had made to it. And we really appreciate that. So if your state rep is out there talking about how they made a mistake, whether they overlooked it or trusted somebody that they shouldn't have or whatever, if they are owning their mistake in voting yes on the bill as it is currently written, don't attack them for it. You can firmly but kindly tell them that that needs to never happen in the future, but we do appreciate the integrity it takes, the courage it takes to go in the public and tell people, you know what, I made a mistake. I should not have voted yes on that bill. I look forward to seeing the Senate fix the things that we should have done in the House before we sent it over to the Senate. So please, guys, don't needlessly or endlessly harass legislators. They are people too. So if they're going to turn around and say to the public, I oopsed on that one, I need to correct that going forward, and here's what I'm going to do differently, please thank them for that, because it does take a lot of courage, it takes a lot of guts, and it's a type of integrity that is very rare these days. So to the extent that some of our legislators have been out there doing that, I really appreciate that. And if any of you other state reps have been out there doing that and I haven't seen it yet, please make sure, if you have my cell phone number, just text me a link to the post that you did it in. I would love to share that far and wide. I would love to make sure that everyone in the state of Michigan knows that you were listening to them and that you have corrected that and you are working with them. Or even if you're, a state senator who hasn't voted on it yet, but you want to tell the people you are aware of those two things and that you aren't going to support it with those two things not fixed, something like that. Feel free to reach out to me personally so I can share your post, or I can share, your whatever words in a text message that you send me or whatever. That's fine. Don't send me anything on Facebook Messenger, because I don't have Facebook Messenger. It's not worked for like 2 months. So please, no one send me anything on Facebook Messenger, but you can call me, text me, email me. Absolutely. So Again, thank you, state reps, for those of you who are truly listening and thinking about it and learning from the mistakes and trying to make things better going forward. And thank you to all the rest of you who are trying so hard to fight for our constitutional freedoms and to make sure we do, in fact, have that Republican form of government guaranteed to us in the Constitution. So thanks so much, and thank you all for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing a lot of you either today or tomorrow at the various events. And if you do have petitions, make sure you are handing them in to us no later than 8 a.m. Sunday morning at 7194 Michael Drive in Hudsonville, Michigan. And we have very limited availability for people to go out and be runners and pick up those petitions. So if you are still collecting, make sure you are connecting with somebody who can either bring them that you trust and you know, or that you are bringing them here yourself. You can come anytime, night or day. We have a lockable drop box, and if you come and we're not here or not available, you can drop them in there, and it holds quite a few. It could hold a few thousand, and otherwise we're here almost 24/7 anyway, and we'd love to see you and talk to you, or you can just drop them off and go, whatever works best for you. But 8 a.m. July 5th is when we would need those back so we can have them processed and checked so we can drop them off on Monday, July 6th. All right, everyone, thanks so much. Have a great day, and happy 4th of July.